Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Nikolai. So today I want to go into why I think I'm not that great of a runner and things I need to do to get better for that. Before I get into that, I'm going to go over what I've done this week. If you want to just jump ahead and skip that part, I'll leave the time block down below. Monday, I didn't end up doing any running. Tuesday, I wasn't planning on running until the evening for part of the Next Step training program. However, due to weather, they ended up canceling the practice. Because of that, I decided to have some fun, so I went over to Fort Meade. I was going to try and set the course record on the Gaffney track. Sadly, I ended up missing this by about a second. My finishing time was a 57.69, which rounded up to a 58. The current first place is at a 57 second. I may not have got first place, but I was pretty happy about this attempt. I think I was definitely on pace to even run maybe a 55, but the last 60 meters or so, I was pretty burned out and ended up losing a lot of time over that stretch. After I finished that up, I just ended up doing 2 more 800 meters just to cool down. Then on Wednesday, I went out initially to do a 10K, so I went to the long reach track. Initially, I was trying to do a sub 40 10K attempt. To be able to do that, you need to be doing 6:27 mile splits. So the opening 2 miles, I started off a little quicker just to bank myself some time. After about 2 miles in, I knew it was probably a little too fast, so I decided to do a 5K instead. So I sped up the final mile of this and ended up finishing a 5K in under 19 minutes. After that, I just did a mile cool down run. Then the next day, on Thursday, I ended up going back to the track. This time my wife and daughter came with me, so while they were walking around the field, I ended up doing about 5 laps to warm up, and then for the fun of it, I ended up doing about a 3/4 mile with my daughter in the stroller. The following day, on Friday, I felt like taking my daughter back out for a stroller run. I wasn't planning on going super quick on this one, so for the first mile, we did a somewhat casual 7-minute mile pace, and as I was coming into the next mile, I wanted to see if I could go under 6 minutes with the stroller, so I sped up, ended up finishing a mile with the stroller in a 5:51, so because that's the first sub 6 that my daughter's gone on. Finished up the run with a half-mile cool down, and then on Saturday I went back out for my park run. This was my 30th park run. I didn't plan on going super fast on this one either. I did want to win it, and the plan for this one was to go with the racing strategy where I chill back in second place and then snipe the win at the end. For this run, which is running in the background, when it first kicked off, I honestly didn't think I was going to win it because the guy who ended up getting second place took off super fast. I think our opening mile was at 5:52. Luckily, soon after that, and once we got into the hilly portion, he started slowing down. Stuck behind him until mile 2, and then after we finished the second mile, that's when I ended up passing him, and then finished up with almost a sub 6 mile. And ended up giving another trophy to the guy who got second place, so congrats. And that wraps up this week's runs. One of the ways I can look at this is recently Josh Kerr just set the new mile world record at a 3:42. Now, what's interesting is I looked at it, and apparently him and I are about the same age. I'm about 3 months older. So if that's the case, why is it that I can't run a 3:42 mile? Currently my record is a 5:06, which I did about a week and a half ago. There's also the 2-mile record that Jacob Ingebrigtsen has. I believe he's a bit younger. His record is a 7:57 if I'm correct, and my current record is an 11:31. Another race you can look into is the 400 meter, which Wade Van Niekerk currently holds with a 43:03, I think, and my record is around 57 second. There's plenty of other races I can look at, half marathon or any other race. Overall, if you look at where I currently stand and the top athletes in the world, I'm not even remotely close to their records. Now, I'll be honest, I am realistic. I don't think that I'm going to be number 1 in the world for any of these races. These guys have been training for years, if not decades. I've been running for over 15 years, but actually only competitively for maybe a couple years. I know hands down the number 1 reason I don't run as fast as I could, I don't follow any training program. There is a specific reason I do this, and the main reason for that is I honestly think it's kind of boring. Not only that, but I also don't even know what it would cost to have an actual trained coach to train me. This is a similar thing for me when I was lifting weights in the gym. Pretty much my entire time lifting, I never actually followed a lifting program. Now, that's not to say I was completely just going to the gym or heading out and running and just running or lifting for the heck of it. Whenever I did lift or run, I would try to have some level of thought going into it. When it comes to the gym specifically, I probably spent about 8 years. In the beginning years, I watched a lot of YouTube videos of other lifters just to get an idea of what it takes and things you have to do in the gym. One of the biggest YouTubers I watched back in the day was a guy named Jeff Nippert. He's still relevant today, but it was super useful for me to watch him back in the day to learn a lot about the gym. After a couple of years of watching videos of other YouTubers, I kind of pioneered my own path from there, because at that point I kind of knew what I was doing. I did somewhat follow a semi-standard lifting program, so every day I would cycle doing things like back, and then the next day I would do chest, the next day I would do legs, the next day I would do core, something like that. Based on how my body responded to the gym, I did tweak some things. One of the most common lifting styles is back and bis, chest and tris. I prefer to do that the opposite way. One of the reasons being, after I would do workouts with triceps, my triceps would be burned out, and when I'd go to do chest workouts, at that point I wasn't even getting any chest workout. So I switched it to biceps instead for chest. That way I could work out my biceps and it wouldn't affect my chest at all, and I'd get overall more improvements. For about a year, I did used to record all my lifts that I did. I jotted them down in a notebook. That way I could see progression over time, but I'll be honest, it kind of got repetitive and boring. In a nutshell, the biggest thing I learned, as cringy as it sounds, is as long as you're having fun, you've improved. And that's what I ended up doing. Is if I wasn't following any specific program, I could just go to the gym and do really whatever workout I wanted to, and I would enjoy it. And because I was enjoying it, I'd keep coming back to the gym. I would keep lifting, and because of that, over the years, I would get improvements. And my peak strength when it came to the gym, I'm not sure if I have videos for all of them, but I ended up getting to a 550-pound deadlift, a 515-pound squat, and a 375-pound bench. The other issue I had when it came to lifting is it seemed every time I got to a new strength or like a new peak, I would stay at that level for a while, maybe increase weight a little bit more, and then I would get burned out and I would take 2, 3, 4 months off, and it would take me an additional 2, 3, 4, 5 months to try and get back to where I was. Who knows where I could have been if I just constantly grinded at it. But again, a lot of that boiled down to the enjoyment. When I wasn't enjoying the gym, I would step away, and I really just needed a break. Running for me is the same way. I could follow a program and I know I'd probably improve tremendously. However, I don't really find that very fun. I think it's a lot more interesting if I go out with a loose plan of roughly what I want to do, whether it's a 5-mile run or 60% effort, or if I'm just trying to break a new record. That way when I get out there, I actually enjoy the run that I'm doing, and I feel like coming back the next day. I do kind of run into the same issue though, where a lot of the times with running, I'll get up to my peak fitness level, I'll maintain there for a while, and eventually I end up getting burned out and I take a couple weeks or months off. Because of that, then it takes me a couple more weeks or months to recover back to where I was, and it feels like overall in the last many years I'm only making small improvements. So if any of you have watched a lot of the recent videos that have been uploaded, or even following me on Strava, you'll see a lot of the times I'm going out there beating new records, getting course records, and overall doing a lot of high intensity effort runs. And I'm not doing those typical slower paced runs that you need for recovery and stuff like that. I know because of that, that does affect my overall performance and where I could be. For me, it boils down to enjoyment, and I enjoy going out there and breaking new records. It's what keeps me coming back to running. So in the grand scheme of things, I guess it's not a horrible thing. I do have a lot of goals I do want to go for, and I know to achieve a lot of them, I am going to actually have to put forth a lot of effort to be able to achieve them. I will be stepping away in October. I have some training I have to do, and I'm going to be gone for probably 2.5 months. Because of that, I'm not going to start any crazy intense workout program until after that is over. So do expect over the next couple of weeks, I'll continue running the way I do, where I'm just going for some small achievements here and there and try and get some new records when I can. In a later video, I'll highlight some of the upcoming races that I plan to do. A lot of the stuff is going to be in 2027. One of the biggest things I'm going to have to do is look around and try and find an actual training program that I can follow. More than likely, I'm going to be looking for a 5K style workout program. I do have intentions of races for the 800 meter and the mile, and also 10Ks and maybe a half marathon, but I think the 5K training is going to be the best middle ground for overall performance. I know this was kind of a ramble session, but just kind of wanted to give a little background of where I'm at and why you see me doing the runs that I do, even if it seems like it's unplanned, which I guess overall it is kind of unplanned. End of the day, I'm having fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.